हमारे यहाँ शादियों के जब कार्ड्स होते हैं तो उस पर लड़कों का नाम लिखा जाता है, दूसरी औरतों का भी नहीं मोर्चा चलाना था, अपना क्यों नहीं है? लाइक व्हाई इज माई नेम नॉट देयर, राइट? माई नेम इज रिटन, माई सिस्टर्स नेम इज रिटन, माई भाभीज नेम इज रिटन, एंड आवर एजुकेशंस आर रिटन. तो मेरे तो नाम लिखा होता है सुरभि यादव, फिर ब्रैकेट में लंबा सा ब्रैकेट आता है. सो आई गेट लाइक अ फुल लाइन नाउ बिकॉज ही विल राइट संस्थापक साजिद सपने, यूसी बर्कली, IIT दिल्ली, एंड देन ही विल राइट लाइक. तो it took like what 25 years to get here, where not only daughters' names are written, daughter-in-laws' names are written. You made an assumption there that people who are coming from, let's say, places which don't have a lot of materialistic wealth would not have as much confidence as, let's say, an urban area. उसको तो I will challenge. मैंने कहा नहीं, अभी छुट्टियाँ नहीं, IIT छोड़ के घर आ जा. कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. यहाँ पे बोरावा में एक कॉलेज है, वहाँ पे मिल जाएगा तेरे को एडमिशन, तू बहुत समझदार है, यू कम बैक होम. कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. सपना दल इज बेसिकली तुम्हारे सपनों के लिए एक दल, अ टीम फॉर योर ड्रीम्स, एज सिंपल एज दैट. एंड ऑल ऑफ अस नीड a Sapna Dal. Like each one of us, we need to be part of someone else's Sapna Dal, and lots of people have to be part of our Sapna Dal. Like I'm not opposed to having a companionship, but like marriage is a sign up. Like why does state needs to get into your private matters, or why does, you know, in a certain way social norms have to get into your private matters? There's an idea of dating a strong woman, and then they're actually dating a strong woman.
Hello, welcome to Andar Ki Baat. Well, yet another podcast? Not really. If you ask me, it is a series of questions. Questions that I have had in my head ever since I have been a kid, a teenager, a young adult, and now in my late 20s. So what are we going to do? In the series of this podcast, we are going to invite over people and ask them these questions. We will talk about money, dating, conflicts, breakups, career, and lot more in the crux about adulting. So today, our first guest is somebody who, when given the chance to choose her preferred job location, wrote very courageously Kandabari, Himachal. In the times when we look for the fastest internet network, a building with all the amenities, fanciest of facilities, she chose to move to a place which at that time did not even have proper internet connectivity. We'll talk to her about it and more. So help me welcome today our first guest, Surbhi. Hi,
Hello.
Surbhi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Oof, loaded question. I don't know how people answer that in a short answer. Like I'm, in general, right now sitting in front of you, feeling really good.
शुरुआत से शुरुआत करते हैं. आपका इंट्रोडक्शन जो है वो मुझे मिस्टीरियस रखना था, एंड देयर इज अ रीजन बिहाइंड इट. कि देयर आर सो मेनी एंगल्स वाया विच आई नो यू. देयर इज योर वर्क, देन अ लिटिल बिट अबाउट वॉट एवर यू शेयर ऑन इंस्टाग्राम अबाउट योर पर्सनल लाइफ. तो मैं आपसे सुनना चाहती हूँ, बताइए हम अपने बारे में कुछ.
मुझे चीज़ें बनाने में बहुत मज़ा आता है. आई थिंक आई एम obsessed about creating things, and as long as I'm creating something, I think then I have like solid core. Then a lot of sudden life feels very abundant inside and outside, and that's what I have done, I think, all my life. I think I create things. I also am someone who think a lot, who talk a lot, who writes a lot. Used to read a lot, doesn't read as much enough anymore. I love dancing, and all of my creation currently focuses on series of, as you were saying, series of questions. So my life has been series of questions. I see life, self, work through a sense of questioning, right? So वो sense of questioning has led me to currently what I do is mostly, like, all my work is at the intersection of gender and rural development. I'm a founder and CEO of a non-profit called Saji Sapne, where we are working with young rural women from marginalized caste groups, class groups, helping them choose like strong growth trajectory for themselves, like actually work on their inner agency so that they can take leaps on their personal front, professional front. करियर की तो हम गांव में बात भी नहीं करते हैं. सो वी आर फोकसिंग दैट दे हैव एन एक्टिव चॉइस ऑफ मॉडर्न करियर्स. तो कोडिंग हो गया, प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट हो गया, प्राइमरी मैथ टीचिंग हो गया. दीज आर सम एग्जांपल्स, बट एसेंशियली एजेंसी बिल्डिंग ऑफ द नेक्स्ट जनरेशन of young women in villages. So that's Saje Sapne. I am also the creator of there's a multimedia project called Project Basanti, Women at Leisure, which is exploring time and labor and leisure as feminist issues. And it's like a very joyful project because it's like a lot of visuals, photos and videos of women taking out time for themselves. So you get to know what do they do जब वो औरतें फुर्सत में होती हैं. So that's, and bunch of other things. But yeah, all my work is focused on gender and rural development. So that's bits about me. Yeah.
Since you mentioned Project Basanti, I have been following it for a while, and joyful it is.
Yeah.
There were visuals which were so mundane, so regular, but they came across as, oh, why have I not seen this before, or why have I not noticed this before? थोड़ा step back लेते हैं.
Okay.
हमें बताइए कि आपका बचपन कहाँ बीता है?
So मैं खरगोन नाम के एक कस्बे में पैदा हुई थी और मध्य प्रदेश में है, और पूरा बचपन वहीं बीता. तो मैं जब छोटी थी तो मेरी दुनिया थी खरगोन, माधोपुरा जो मेरे पापा का गांव है, और मम्मी का गांव था बरवा सागर, और ये दोनों गांव ना बुंदेलखंड में हैं. ठीक है. तो पूरी दुनिया बेसिकली खरगोन और बुंदेलखंड के बीच में पिंग पोंग हो रही थी. तो बचपन वहाँ पे बीता पूरा, एंड देन एजुकेशन के लिए, आई थिंक हायर एजुकेशन के लिए आई लेफ्ट होम.
मैं आपका इंस्टाग्राम देख रही थी, और
पर्सनल वाला, विमेन एट लीजर वाला,
Personal
साझे
वाला,
वाला,
personal
तीन
वाला.
बना रखे हैं ना.
हाँ, तो
अच्छा,
आपका
personal
जो
वाला.
खुद का है
पर्सनल वाला
वो
okay.
देख रही थी मैं.
Yeah.
एंड इट केम अक्रॉस, मुझे ऐसा इंप्रेशन मिला उसमें से कि यू हैव बीन अ रूल ब्रेकर, क्योंकि मैंने आपको देखा एक कैफे में जहाँ लिखा हुआ था नो डांसिंग, एंड यू रिकॉर्डेड अ वीडियो डांसिंग देयर. सो आप मुझे ये बताइए, डू यू कंसिडर योरसेल्फ टू बी अ रूल ब्रेकर? And what do you understand from this when I say a rule breaker? What is it that the idea of a rule breaker is for you?
I think I do things that deeply make sense to me. It may or may not fall in the rule. Right? I won't break a rule for the sake of breaking the rule. I don't think I'm a rebel just for the sake of being a rebel. And there is a value in it as well. And I think there is an age where you go through that phase where your expression of freedom is, you establish your freedom by rebelling, right? And at least that's not how I see myself. I mean, real testimony would come from my parents. But I think I need to have deep conviction to do something. And if I'm not clear on it, and if I'm clear on opposite side of the rule, then I would actually do what makes sense to me, or at least try to build a consensus कि हम ये क्यों कर रहे हैं जो कर रहे हैं. So that's how, I mean, that no dancing thing, like I'm not one of those people who would just say no trespassing and then she will jump out the gate and would want to trespass. Like that's not who I am. But the no dancing was just so funny. Like, why would anyone say don't dance here? Like that doesn't make any sense. It wasn't like a temple. It was literally loud music playing and someone had written there no dancing. So I was just being goofy there. But yeah, so and I also enjoy a lot of fun. So
lovely.
In that process, if some rules are broken, it's fine.
आपने अभी बोला कि you do something only when you have deep conviction for it.
Yeah.
Do you think कि आप जैसे सराउंडिंग में बड़ी हुई, या आपका फैमिली का जिस तरीके का भी अपब्रिंगिंग था, that helped you in forming this kind of a
big way. I think so my family, just more context, we have 4 siblings. मम्मी तो अब नहीं रही हैं, but मम्मी पापा, and so 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and मम्मी पापा का context ये है कि मम्मी could only study till 8th standard and she had to fight for that education, right? And my father studied till masters, and he was like the first one in his entire village to have even dared to finish college, get a sarkari job and all of that. And they both uprooted from their villages to come to this town for our education. तो दोनों का support system नहीं था, and for both of them the priority was कि बच्चों की पढ़ाई. तो उन्होंने वो करवाई पढ़ाई, है ना, कॉन्वेंट स्कूल में. हमको जो ओनली इंग्लिश मीडियम स्कूल, दे लिटरली रेंटेड अ हाउस राइट इन फ्रंट ऑफ द स्कूल, एंड माई फादर वुड गो अवे टू हिज नर्सरी like 45-50 minutes bike ride. They gave us the access to education, and the biggest thing that my parents did, they just didn't come in the way. वो हमारे रास्ते में आई ही नहीं. तो अब उसका फ़ायदा ये था कि मतलब मुझे लगता था, I used to tease my father that either you were like a really lazy parent who had like no interest on what the hell is happening with his kids, or you were this, progressive, amazing, liberal parent who was like ahead of his times and who did all the things that right kind of parenting, बट बोथ ऑफ देम आई थिंक दे घर में सिर्फ इतना ही था कि एक तो खुद का काम करना आना चाहिए और दूसरा कि जहाँ पैसे नहीं लगे वो काम कर सकते हो. मतलब आपको पैसे सिर्फ किताबों के लिए हैं और सेहत के लिए हैं, बाकी किसी चीज़ के लिए नहीं है. तो then we did everything that we wanted to do. And I think kids in general, they are born with like a lot of wonder and curiosity. And when adults don't come in the way of crushing it, or adults don't come in the way, it doesn't get crushed. And then there were a bunch of like very specific events that I remember in the way that allowed me to really follow what my gut is saying, really follow my sense of logic. Like my sense of logic, my agency was respected by the adults that mattered most to me, which were my parents. So then दुनिया भर में कुछ भी कर रही हूँ उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ा. So the moment I got out of home, the benchmark was that your voice matters. The benchmark was if you have an opinion, you will say it. Because they didn't shut me, right? So हाँ, I mean there are specific examples around it on how I remember that, but yeah, like a big way. I think they did a fantastic job, honestly. मार भी खाई है मैंने बहुत, but हाँ, they did a fantastic job.
So the sense of self that you have developed in hindsight comes from there, right?
Oh,
comes
big
from your
way,
parents.
big way. I mean, I think I did tell you about this before, but तो बुंदेलखंड में ना लड़कियों को तो हम चटनी बना देते हैं. मतलब we don't treat women with the dignity of them being people with minds, people with a beating heart. तो सोचो ये होता था, हम खरगोन में स्कूल कर रहे होते थे, माधोपुरा में पूरी छुट्टियां निकल रही होती थी 2-3 महीने की, और ये पूरे टाइम हुआ ना 18 साल तक, दैट आई वाज until 18. एंड वहाँ पे आप जैसे ही जाओगे तो द वॉट एवर योर क्लास एक्ट्स ऑफ मिसोजिनी इन योर फेस. मतलब वो टेक्स्ट बुक में उसको मिसोजिनी और लाइफ पता नहीं डेवलपमेंट इश्यूज बोल रहे हैं, वहाँ पे तो लाइफ स्टाइल है ना. तो फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई रिमेंबर माई दादी, शी वुडंट गिव मी घी, शी वुड गिव माई ब्रदर घी. And it was a direct no to me.
Why
तो लड़की हो, घी क्यों खाना है?
अच्छा,
लड़के को घी खाना है ना. घी is a commodity, like a precious commodity. So it has to go to the guy, right? Like a lot of nutrition goes to men and boys first, and then to whatever is left to women. हमको तो मना ही हो जाता था. Like the ghee would be locked in a room, and दादी would only give it to my brother and not to me. तो वो इतना clear and in your face होता था, है ना. घूंघट पूरे टाइम चल रहा है, कोई भी किसी को गाली गलौज कर दे रहा है, आदमी तो बहुत आराम से कर ही देते थे. तो यू सीइंग दैट, एंड येट देयर वर मोमेंट्स व्हेन इट वाज सो क्लियर दैट oh, I got to follow my logic, and my logic is important, which was मैं जब आई थिंक 5-6 साल की थी या 7 साल की थी, एंड हमारे यहाँ शादियों के जब कार्ड्स होते हैं तो उस पर लड़कों का नाम लिखा जाता है ना, कि तुम्हें चंटू बंटू, ऑल द पीपल हु वुड बी वेटिंग टू वेलकम द बारात, यू नो. तो the card came and my name was not there, my elder brother's name was there, and my elder brother is like 2 years older than me. तो उस समय का फेमिनिज्म, मेरा जो जितना मुझे पता था वो इतना था कि मेरा नाम होना चाहिए, उसका है ना. इट वाजंट रिलेटेड टू बीइंग वुमन एंड गर्ल, इट वाज लाइक उसका है तो मेरा क्यों नहीं है, दैट्स इट. इट वाज नॉट आल्सो कि दीदी का क्यों नहीं है, दूसरी औरतों का भी नहीं मोर्चा चलाना था, अपना क्यों नहीं है, लाइक व्हाई इज माय नेम नॉट देयर, राइट. सो आई क्रिएटेड अ हल्ला अबाउट इट, एंड इट इज इजीली इग्नोर्ड. कि अरे हल्ला नहीं करो, है ना, शादी का मामला है, शादी का काम है, अच्छा बोलो, एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. सो आई वेंट इनसाइड, मम्मी चूल्हे पे बना रही है रोटी, घूंघट में है. आई आस्क्ड हर कि मम्मी देखो नाम नहीं है, भैयू का नाम है, मेरा नाम नहीं है. तो नाउ दैट इज मोमेंट नंबर 1 वेयर शी कुड हैव शट मी डाउन. शी कुड हैव सेड ऐसे ही होता है. शी डिडंट. शी सेड पापा को जाके बोलो, बिकॉज शी न्यू दैट शी कांट गो इन फ्रंट एंड टॉक टू द मेन, बट पापा कैन. तो इन्हें पापा को जाके बोलो, पापा को जाके बोलो. सो आई वेंट टू पापा मोर्चा लेके कि मेरा नाम नहीं है, भैयू का नाम है. And my father got 1,000 cards reprinted with the line underneath, with that big paragraph of all the men and boys' name. There was a special line which said, हमारी गुड़िया सुरभि यादव के कहने पे जलूल जलूल आना, है ना. And that was it. That's battle won, right? Like they didn't say, and they didn't shut me down. So not only I became the first girl in the entire village to have her name on the wedding card, but I also became part of all the following things that happens. तो पक्यात करके होती है, which is a दहेज exchange basically. तो उसमें सिर्फ मर्द जाते हैं, क्योंकि उसमें तुम कैश लेके जा रहे हो, सोना लेके जा रहे हो. तो मोर्चा वापस से ऑन था. भाई जाएगा तो मैं भी जाऊंगी तो किसको बोलना है, पिताजी को बोलना है. पिताजी ने बोला चलो. So I literally was the only girl.
Hmm.
And when we reached, I still remember what happened, because when we reached to the other village and पूरा ऐसे सोना चांदी and फल fruit कपड़े and all the usual Bundelkhandi Dahej, it's in the middle. All the men from both the villages are sitting around and I'm the only girl. So even the women of that family were not allowed because it was such a serious exchange of wealth. And the women in that family didn't even know what to do with me because उससे पहले कोई लड़की आई ही नहीं थी ना. पर मैं तो टेक्निकली समधी की साइड से आई हूँ, तो दे नीड टू ऑनर मी इन सर्टन वे, बट दे डोंट नो व्हाट टू डू. किसको अंदर बुला के बिठाएं, पर ये तो पापा के साथ फुदक रही है बाहर. एंड पापा वाज नॉट सेइंग एनीथिंग कि तुम नहीं अंदर जाओ. तो व्हेन दीज थिंग्स हैपन, राइट, देन यू डोंट नीड द वर्ल्ड. यू लाइक दो लोग जिनसे परवाह है वो तो हाँ बोल रहे हैं कि तुम बोलो, है ना. तो आई ऑल्सो वेंट इन बारात एंड to recent time, my father recently sent me a wedding card from the same family, right, where not only my name is written, my sister's name is written, my bhabhi's name is written, and our educations are written. तो मेरे तो नाम लिखा होता है सुरभि यादव, फिर ब्रैकेट में लंबा सा ब्रैकेट आता है. सो आई गेट लाइक अ फुल लाइन नाउ बिकॉज ही विल राइट संस्थापक साजिद सपने, UC Berkeley, IIT दिल्ली, एंड देन ही विल राइट लाइक. तो it took like what 25 years to get here, where not only daughters' names are written, daughter-in-laws' names are written, not only names are written, their education is written, you know. So it's a matter of pride, like it's, you know. तो ऐसी चीजें बहुत हुई हैं बचपन में where they really didn't come in the way and they really didn't shut me down, and तो मैं मुफट बन गई. So they played a big role.
Lovely. So मतलब what is fascinating to me is it's just been through a series. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि आपने तब फेमिनिज्म मूवमेंट पढ़ा या पता किया कि अच्छा मैं तो रिप्रेस हो रही हूँ. आपको जो लगा कि ये तो ऐसा होना नहीं चाहिए, सिंपल क्वेश्चनिंग, एंड यू आर जस्ट ऑल ऑफ दोज क्वेश्चंस वर आंसर्ड in very legit ways, is how you kept on going.
Or my answers were not shut down. Right? I think even if they didn't have answers. For example, and also feminism क्या है? मतलब बंधने का मन नहीं है ना, तो बंधने का किस इंसान को मन है? जानवरों को मन नहीं है. तुम मतलब even like babies, right? And there is a lot of social science research which talks about innate sense of agency, innate sense of freedom. Babies, you try to do something to them that they don't like, they'd immediately resist, right? तो हम तो पैदा हुए ना उस सेंस ऑफ वांटिंग आज़ादी, टू सेंस ऑफ नहीं मुझे नहीं बंधना है. प्रॉब्लम ये हो जाती है कि उसको हम एक तो उसकी चटनी बना देते हैं, उसको जान से निकाल देते हैं कि व्हाट डू यू मीन नहीं बंधना है ना, क्योंकि बंधेंगे तो ही तो समाज आगे बढ़ेगा ना. और देयर आर नॉर्म्स एंड रूल्स दैट यू हैव टू फॉलो टू हैव अ सेंस ऑफ कलेक्टिवनेस, राइट. तो हाँ, आई थिंक जैसे आंसर का भी मैं बोलूँ, जैसे आई रिमेंबर आई हैड मेल फ्रेंड्स एंड आई हैड फीमेल फ्रेंड्स इन स्कूल, राइट. एंड एक दोस्त था मेरा मोहित, तो वो और मैं साथ में अपने मोहल्ले में वापस चल के आते थे. Or rows there would be a tea point where we would separate, and then as I'm separating from him, I'll remember that I haven't asked him what is the homework. तो अब हम ऐसे 200 मीटर की दूरी पे हैं, and then I'll yell at top of my voice, ओए आज होमवर्क क्या करना है, and then he'll reply from there. तो पूरा मोहल्ला will listen that Surbhi and Mohit are having a conversation about homework. So my mother once told me कि ये ना तुम स्कूल में कर लिया करो, तुमको जो करना है ये यहाँ आगे नहीं करना है, ये काम ये जोर जोर से लड़कों से बातें करने वाला काम नहीं करना है. अब मम्मी का अब मुझे जो समझ में आता है कि ये फेमिनिज्म की ये देन है पढ़ने की, कि अब उनका पर्सपेक्टिव समझ में आता है ना. उस समय तो चिड़ मचती थी कि वाई आर यू सेइंग नो टू समथिंग दैट आई वांट टू डू, राइट. एंड उनका पर्सपेक्टिव शायद अब ये हो सकता है कि भाई शी इज अप्रूटेड फ्रॉम हर सपोर्ट कम्युनिटी, शी वांट्स टू मेक श्योर दैट शी इज डूइंग राइट. एजुकेशन जो वो करवा रही हैं दैट ऑल्सो इज क्वेश्चन मेनी टाइम्स. तो शी वांट टू मेक श्योर कि कुछ गड़बड़ ना हो जाए. नोबडी टॉक्स अबाउट माई डॉटर इन अ रॉन्ग वे. तो अब ये तो उन्होंने बोल दिया कि मोहित से बात नहीं करनी है. सुना मैंने, ठीक है. शाम हुई, सब लोग बैठे हैं खाना खाने के लिए, सबका खाना जा चुका है प्लेट में. तो मैंने तो बोला, मैंने कहा आप सब लोग मुझे ये बताओ कि मोहित से क्यों नहीं बात करनी है. अब फिर से उनके पास मौका था ना, दोनों जन के पास में. सो माई दीदी is 6 years older than me and she has definitely not gotten the same amount of freedom that I did, right? In the same family, different upbringing happens. Because I had her, तो वो तो मेरे लिए खड़ी हो जाती थी ना. तो दीदी तो ऑलरेडी नीचे देख रही है कि अब तो उसको डांट पड़ेगी, इसने क्या ऐसे लड़कों से बात करने के लिए, यू नो, ऑल ऑफ दैट. तो दे हैड अ मोमेंट वेयर दे कुड हैव सेड कि शट अप, है ना, कि ऐसे ही होता है, लाइक लड़कों से नहीं बात करना अच्छी बात नहीं होती है, पर नहीं बोला ना, दोनों जन चुप, मम्मी पापा। तो मैंने कहा बताओ क्यों नहीं करनी है, वो अच्छा लड़का नहीं है, वो मेरा दोस्त नहीं है, दोस्त नहीं बनाऊं मैं, एंड आई वही जंपिंग विद ये सीरीज ऑफ क्वेश्चनिंग एंड दे डिडंट स्टॉप। तो दोनों बोथ ऑफ देम गॉट टायर्ड ऑफ माय क्वेश्चन, दे सेड नहीं ठीक है तुम करो, हाँ ठीक है परफेक्ट।
उनके पास और कोई जवाब नहीं था?
नहीं, they didn't say that don't do it because they will have to articulate no why talking to boys is bad. So they didn't have that articulation, so they at least didn't shut me कि तुम चुप करो, वो नहीं बोला उन्होंने, and I think that was very powerful. So then I continued talking to Mohit in the same way, and I continued asking him homework at the last minute, and we continued yelling. So that really, I mean, ये incidences मुझे अभी तक याद है. Like I remember how my body felt, you know, like there was like formational memories, you know, and I'm sure there must be many, but yeah, these are
what we call core memories.
Yeah. Like I remember where I was sitting, where my father was sitting, how my sister giggled the moment she heard I've raised this question, you know.
तो आपने रेजिस्टेंस की बात करी. आई एम फ्रॉम अ स्मॉल टाउन धनबाद झारखंड में, और आपने ये भी बोला कि यू नो बच्चे क्यूरियस होते हैं बहुत ज़्यादा, शरारत करते हैं.
जरूरी नहीं है, बट हाँ सारे नहीं, बट
क्यूरियोसिटी तो रहती है इनेटली.
बिल्कुल.
अगेन गोइंग बैक टू योर इंस्टाग्राम, मैंने देखा कुछ पिक्चर्स थे वहाँ पे होली के, जहाँ पे आप कांदबरी में शायद है वो पिक्चर्स, वेर यू आर हैविंग so much fun during Holi. And I remember that specifically because as a kid I used to have a blast when there was Holi around. And as and when I grew up, मतलब वो जैसे बचपन छूटता गया, that kind of boundless joy or shame came in some sense or the other. And I feel this is very specific to people who come from थोड़े छोटे शहरों से, because people who are in cities, especially women who are in cities, carry themselves much more confidently than the ones who come from, you know, थोड़ा पता नहीं है, sense of self अभी भी figure out कर रहे हैं. Why do you think that happens? Why does it go away as you grow up?
अभी इस सवाल में मेरे 3 सवाल हैं तुमसे. पहले तो छोटा किससे, छोटा धनबाद किससे, like smaller than what, right? I think we tend to like हम उसको insignificant बनाने की बहुत कोशिश करते हैं, हम खुद ही बना देते हैं ना, but छोटा than what, honestly, like unless you have a benchmark, है ना. तो धनबाद से हो, ठीक है. And then so second, you made an assumption there that people who are coming from, let's say, places which don't have a lot of materialistic wealth would not have as much confidence as, let's say, an urban area. उसको तो I will challenge. ऐसा नहीं है ज़रूरी है, especially it's a very broad generalization. So for example, there are a couple of studies, even by my own work, I would say that there are certain freedoms that rural women have that a lot of urban women don't have. बहुत simple है ना, पैर खोल के सिर पे हाथ रख के खड़े हो जाना, like ऐसे है ना, पैर खोल के. Women in urban India don't do that. Very and it's not just कि अच्छा वो करना ही नहीं चाहती है. Sure, वो भी है, but अगर करने को बोल भी दें कि करो ना, तो भी उनको बॉडी में शर्म आ जाएगी, like their body would hesitate. गांव की औरतें तो बहुत पैर खोल के बैठती भी हैं, like they literally the whole manspreading thing that is given coined in the Western setting, and of course Indian men do that too. रूरल women also literally when the चबूतरे पे जब वो बैठती हैं, वो पैर खोल के बैठती हैं. शहरों की औरतें तो नहीं करती हैं, है ना. I was reading an article recently and it talked about that how Dalit women in a lot of villages have a way more mobility freedom than a lot of Savarna caste women. क्यों? क्योंकि जहाँ पे ज़्यादा इज्जत बचाने के लिए रख रखी है ना तुमने सोशली, तो तुम्हारी मोबिलिटी क्यों करना है तुमको. और गांव की औरतें पूरा काम दलित औरतें पूरा काम कर रही हैं, तुम्हारा गांव की इकोनॉमी चला रही हैं, तो उनकी तो मोबिलिटी इज मस्ट फॉर द रूरल इकोनॉमी, राइट. So the only place where their freedoms was constrained in mobility was temples, right? Same with I remember Kamala Di और मैं बात कर रहे थे, Kamala Bhasin, renowned feminist, she's no more, but I remember she and I were talking about Bundelkhand, and we were talking about how women in Bundelkhand कैसे वो पटक के लड़ लेती हैं, like they, if you वो दिल खोल के चिल्ला के गाली गलौज करके they will fight back because that's the environment that is in which things are permitted like this. I can tell you nobody in the Delhi who's getting beaten by husband will fight like this. Because why? You have like way more social status to protect. So way more constrained of that. है ना? So anyway, I mean, I'm digressing from that point that you're making. But yeah, there are different sets of freedoms that exist in different contexts. So your question was that how... Sorry, now I have completely derailed.
I'll frame it better. When I said
or differently. Yes.
I'll frame it differently. When I said that from a smaller city, I mean maybe lesser exposure. And correct me if I'm wrong. That if I come from a place where I have had lesser exposure, I've met lesser variety of people. I'll think कि मेरी दुनिया तो इतनी ही है. मुझे इतना तो पता है, but इसके बाहर का नहीं पता. And somehow shame creeps in. And then you stop. I think that's very rightly pointed कि then you hesitate because you think कि अच्छा हाँ इतना पता है सही से इतना करते हैं. And then the ideas of how you can have fun or how you can be very goofy, all of that takes a back seat somehow, and you become very graceful and whatever. I don't know the idea of grace, how do you define that, but I hope I'm able to get my point across.
मैं तो 2 अलग-अलग मौजे पहन के आई हूँ यहाँ पे इस स्टूडियो में, तो we can decide how grace is decided, it worked very differently for me, by the way. I think I got really lucky that I grew up without enough exposure. So for me, coming from a place where I didn't have enough exposure or had very, very narrow exposure really worked out well for me. And the way it worked out was क्योंकि पूरी दुनिया बचपन की, it was between Khargone and Bundelkhand, है ना? तो when I came to IIT Delhi was a मेला. Everything was accessible. मतलब लाइब्रेरी थी जहाँ पे किताबें थी जिनको तुम छू सकते हो, which was a big deal for me, क्योंकि हमारे खरगोन में ना सिर्फ पढ़ाई की किताबें होती थी, and that is it. Like वो भी बहुत limited level पे. So I was in like a major exploration mode in IIT, like major. Like I was a yes person. जिसने जो बोला मैं हाँ थी, हाँ यार ये भी करेंगे, हाँ यार वो भी करेंगे, And a lot of my peers who were coming from big cities, a lot of like, for example, DPS RKP, जिनके लिए IIT तो उन्होंने हमेशा से ही सुना था. मेरे को तो IIT पता ही 12वीं में पड़ा. और when I did get into IIT, whole खरगोन से गुड़िया ITI में गई है. Because nobody knew IIT क्या है ना? तो इतना कम exposure था उस समय, है ना? तो हुआ ये कि जब IIT गए और I was completely sucked into extracurricular because they were dynamic, exciting, and I was saying yes to everything. तो clearly my marks tanked, है ना? तो like even though जो पूरी novel है 5 point someone, वो पहला semester था मेरा 5 point someone, no? I was that. And what ended up happening was that my parents, मेरे साथ, मेरे जो हम लोग के 3 उस समय एग्जाम होते, 2 माइनर 1 मेजर होता था, तो एकदम पढ़ाई के मतलब एग्जाम वीक में तो everyone used to like पढ़ना was critical. नंबरों के लिए तो आयो ना यहाँ पे, रेज्यूमे में वही जाएगा या नौकरी उसी से मिलेगी. तो मेरे साथियों के मम्मी पापा will call them before the exam. तैयारी कैसी चल रही है? On the morning of the exam बेटा उठ जाओ. After the exam कैसा गया? फिर when the numbers come, grade कैसे आए? I remember मैंने एक बार मेरे पापा को बोला था कि मेरे को सुबह उठा देना because I have an exam, तो मेरे को रिविजन करना है. My father not only forgot to call me, he called me 3 days later. और बातें कर रहे हैं इधर उधर की. मैंने कहा यार आपको बिल्कुल परवाह नहीं है मेरी, है मैं उठाया नहीं आपने, मैं बताओ सोती रह जाती. तो बोलते हैं ओह मैं बेटा भूल गया, कैसे गया एग्जाम में, याद ही नहीं आया. सो इट डिडंट मैटर टू हिम or to my mother. My mother, oh my god, I remember I got sucked into street plays. घुसते से IIT में तो street plays की पूरी तैयारी रात होती थी and दिन में classes होती थी. तो clearly पहला मेरा केमिस्ट्री का क्विज था and I got 3 out of 10. तो उस समय तो जो ईगो पे लगी ना फर्स्ट रैंकर की कि ये 3 नंबर आए हैं, ये क्या. अब पहला क्विज था, it was like first quiz ever in IIT and I cried and I called home. तो एक को बताया तो पूरे घर में खबर फैल गई कि गुड़िया रो रही थी, है ना. तो मम्मी का कॉल आता है. तो माई मदर यूज्ड टू कॉल मी गुड़िया. तो माई मदर सेड कि तू घर आ जा. तो मैंने कहा नहीं अभी छुट्टियाँ नहीं IIT छोड़ के घर आ जा. कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है, यहाँ पे बोरावा में एक कॉलेज है, वहाँ पे मिल जाएगा तेरे को एडमिशन, तू बहुत समझदार है, यू कम बैक होम, कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. एंड ऑफ कोर्स आई लाफ्ड एट इट बिकॉज आई लाइक हु सेज टू क्विट IIT, like people kill want to get into IIT, who says कि तू घर आ जा. And now looking back, she said तू घर आ जा छोड़ छाड़ के many times during my IIT, by the way, है ना. It just now I look back and I think about it कि यार there was such a deep sense of safety. Like I can fail for the rest of the world and I can still go back home and not be called out names for that. तो for me, because the benchmarking was इतना कि बस तुम पढ़ रहे हो ना, वो उतना लो था हमारे घर में benchmarking. तो तुम्हारी वही फिर जितनी आज़ादी जितना एक्सप्लोर करना है करो. तो आई थिंक व्हाट आई हैव अंडरस्टूड सो फार इज दैट एक्सटर्नल चीज़ें तो होंगी काफ़ी सारी, है ना, अच्छी बुरी सब होंगी. तुम्हारा अंदर का मामला कैसा है, that changes everything. For example, day one in IIT, I remember my father had just left. He had dropped me in the hostel and he had just left. This is my first time I'm going to be living in a hostel, and we were sharing a room, like 2 more people. And I remember my roommates, mother came and she came. And I had just occupied एक bed. मैंने अपना सामान रख दिया था क्योंकि मैं सुबह आ गई थी. So these two came and the mother basically picked up my stuff and kept it away. तो I said, अरे तो मैं तो बड़े प्यार से, आंटी जी नहीं वो मेरा बेड है, मेरा है ना, बिकॉज यू सपोज टू टॉक वेरी नाइसली टू एल्डर्स एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. शी वॉज वेरी रूड विथ मी अप फ्रंट. शी वॉज वेरी रूड एंड शी सेड समथिंग रियली सॉर्ट ऑफ नास्टी. मे बी शी वॉज प्रोटेक्टिंग हर चाइल्ड इन डूइंग सो. अब मैं तो इमीडिएटली रोना आ गया कि एक तो अभी पिताजी गए छोड़ के घर से दूर आए हो और ऊपर से मम्मी जैसी एक आंटी है वो बिल्कुल बुरे से बात कर रही है. एंड आई stepped out of the hostel and I just took a walk, crying, रोते सुबकते बिल्कुल रोते मैंने किया. And I didn't call my father thinking कि वो वापस पलट के आ जाएंगे कि you know I'm not doing well. But day one already was shitty, no? तो there are so many ways you can beat yourself and say कि गड़बड़ है. But अंदर का मामला जब तगड़ा होता है ना, तो then external it does impact, but not in like a substantial fundamental way. देख IIT में आई डिडंट नो इंग्लिश बाबा. IIT में तो तुम्हारे मजाक उड़ाने वाले कितने हैं इंग्लिश नहीं आए तो. और उनको भी एम्पैथी धीरे धीरे डेवलप होता है जब तुम दोस्त बन जाते हो और ये सब. बट स्टार्टिंग में तो यू लुक डाउन अपॉन. तो सो आई ऑल्सो हैड क्रॉस आईज. आई स्टिल डू, बट व्हेन आई एंटर्ड इन IIT एज अ किड ऑल्सो आई हैड लाइक मैसिव क्रॉस आईज. तो मतलब तुम देख रहे हो किसी को और सामने वाला पलट के ऐसे ऐसे देखेगा, वेयर आर यू लुकिंग, राइट. I was, imagine that girl was the monitor of the class, जिसका पूरा काम है तुम बात मत करो, तुम मैं टीचर को बोल दूंगी. And it is like inviting others to ridicule you, क्योंकि जैसे ही तुमको बोला तुम बात मत करो, सामने वाले इसलिए किसको बोल रही है, तेरे को 2 दिखते हैं क्या, मेरे को बोल रही है कि इसको बोल रही है. And kids are mean, you know, when it comes to truth telling, they are pretty mean. So अब सोचो बाहर तो इतना कुछ चल रहा था, तो वही ना अंदर का क्या हाल है. क्योंकि अगर अंदर का हाल हिला हुआ है तो बाहर कितना भी अच्छा चल रहा होगा वो हिला हुआ होगा. सो माई क्वेश्चन इज नॉट अराउंड एक्सपोजर. लाइक आई वुड चैलेंज दैट सेइंग कि वो एक्सपोजर की दिक्कत नहीं है, जितनी होगी है वो भी, बट अंदर क्या चल रहा था. क्योंकि वो जब वो शर्म आई ना, क्योंकि जब मैं दिल्ली पहुंची तो मेरा एक्सपोजर तो उतना ही ज़्यादा चुन्नू सा. तो ये दिल्ली को देख के नहीं लगा कि यार मुझे तो ये भी नहीं आता, मुझे तो वो भी नहीं आता. मुझे तो लगा था ओ इसको भी सीखना है, उसको भी सीखना है, ओ यार ये भी नहीं आता, ये तो कर ही लेंगे, राइट. तो and I'm going to give one anecdote on this. I think first semester, first 3 weeks, so सारे जो हॉस्टल के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स होते हैं वो फ्रेशर्स को खींच के इंस्टीट्यूट के अलग अलग क्लब्स में लेके जाते हैं ताकि हमारे हॉस्टल का रिप्रेजेंटेशन हो जाए. एंड मोस्ट फ्रेशर्स आर वेरी रिलक्टेंट कि भाई कौन जाएगा सीनियर्स के सामने, कौन परफॉर्म करेगा, यू हैव टू ऑडिशन फॉर इट, राइट. आई डिडंट नो गिटार. I mean I did know some guitar, like tiny bit, like literally I got it 3 days before my JEE results came out. And music club था, वहाँ का ऑडिशन चल रहा है. I enter in that and of course there are amazing people who are playing good piano, good guitar, amazing singing. ना singing है ना आता है गिटार, है ना. मैं जाके पे दिया ऑडिशन और मैं उनको now that I remember I was laughed at because I'm sitting on stage really trying to figure out ये chord कैसे बजती है और मैं उनसे भी पूछ रही हूँ जी मैं आप बता दोगे उंगली कैसे लगानी होती है. And the music secretary, like 3rd-year guy sitting there and he's trying to control his laugh and he's trying to figure out where is this confidence coming in her. Like she's clearly not doing well. And but I was like आप ही तो सिखाओगे और कौन सिखाएगा, because it's your job, you're a music secretary. और मैंने ऑडिशन भी ऐसे ही लिया था. I literally called him. His number was written on a poster. So I called him कि ऑडिशन कितने बजे आप बताइए मैं कैसे आ जाऊँ, ये समथिंग है ना. And he said अरे आपने मेरे को क्यों कॉल किया, आप अपने हॉस्टल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव को कॉल करो. And I ended up telling him पर आपका तो काम है ये. बिकॉज माँ बाप ने जो ट्रेनिंग दी ना,
हाँ.
उन्होंने तो ये दिया सब लोग इंसान है एंड कोई ऐसे तुमको ऊपर नीचे देखना नहीं है, तो यू डील विद पीपल एज यू वुड डील विद पीपल. तो इट वाज ही वाजंट लाइक म्यूजिक सेक्रेटरी और थर्ड ईयर सीनियर फॉर मी. ही वाज लाइक म्यूजिक सेक्रेटरी, इसका काम है फ्रेशर्स को एंटरटेन करना, ठीक है, आई एम गोना गिव हिम अ कॉल. ठीक है, ही आल्सो बिकेम अ गुड फ्रेंड इवेंचुअली, बट या. सो does that answer your question? It's like a lot of moving parts.
No, but I think it does. I wanted to know about exposure and how does shame come into picture.
Yeah, that's a very good question.
But it comes from within actually.
हाँ, पर वो कहाँ से आती है? वो अंदर का आइडिया. बच्चा पैदा तो नहीं होता शेम के साथ, तो कहाँ से आती है? बहुत अच्छा सवाल है, क्योंकि it's a very powerful driver. It's a huge driver. तो वो कहाँ से आती होगी?
A lot has to do with the upbringing, how your parents are answering your questions, how are you, whatever you're seeing around also, उसके बारे में भी अगर आप सवाल पूछते हैं, are you being answered? अगर नहीं तो क्या हो रहा है उस सवाल के साथ? Where does that end? Is what I think. Tell me what you think.
साजे में ना हम एक कॉन्सेप्ट, हमने साजे में बहुत सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स और अपनी भाषा बनाई हुई है ना. तो साजे में हम एक चीज़ का इस्तेमाल करते हैं, इसको बोलते हैं सपना दल, है ना. सपना दल इज बेसिकली तुम्हारे सपनों के लिए एक दल, अ टीम for your dreams, as simple as that. And all of us need a sapna dal, like each one of us, we need to be part of someone else's sapna dal, and lots of people have to be part of our sapna dal. तो ये सपना दल वाले लोग जो होते हैं, इनका काम होता है कि they get really excited when you're growing, है ना. they genuinely get excited कि अरे तू अच्छा कर रही है ना. and then they're there to hold you when you're not growing or when you're failing during growing or whatever that means, right. तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है बहुत सारे लोगों के पास ना वो सपना दल गायब है ना. और वो घर से ही आता है, शुरुआत तो वहीं से होगा, बट इट नेसेसरली इज नॉट ऑलवेज माँ बाप. इट कुड बी देम, बट इट कुड बी मौसी, इट कुड बी चाची, इट कुड बी फूफा जी, इट कुड बी हुएवर. पर वो एक इंसान जो सुनने को तैयार है ना, जो तुमको समझने को तैयार है. एंड द रीजन आई से दैट इज बिकॉज देयर इज क्लियरली अ वेरी क्लियर narrative on what to do, what not to do if you want to be a good girl, right. तो वो तो माँ बाप ने भी दिया, समाज ने भी दिया, मूवीज ने भी दिया, है ना. वो तो पूरी उसमें हम डूबे हुए हैं, हम सारे डूबे हुए हैं, और इंटेंशन सबका अच्छा है ना, बच्चे का वेलबींग, है ना. और सब वो गोते खा रहे हैं उसी, उसको पेट्रियार्की बोल लो, जो भी बोल लो, तो उसके अंदर हम सब गोते खा रहे हैं. तो हम वो नियम, वी आर फॉलोइंग दोज रूल्स with our whole heart. So there is a clear instruction and manifesto on what to do, what not to do. ठीक है, तो देन तुमको इसका काउंटर भी तो चाहिए होगा ना, वो अंदर का बचाने के लिए. तो वो काउंटर नहीं मिल पाता है बहुत सारे लोगों को. सो इट्स नॉट जस्ट दिस, इट्स दिस दैट ये काउंटर कैसे, या तो एक तो आइडेंटिफिकेशन उसका और उसको पकड़ के रखना और उसको नर्चर करना. मेरे केस में आई थिंक आई डिड गेट लकी दैट आई डिड हैव माई पेरेंट्स एज सपना दल. एंड अगेन आई डू वांट even highlight that ऐसा नहीं है कि our family doesn't have our own set of issues, you know, like it's not like my father and my sister would have a very different relationship than what I have with him, right. So there are set of issues, but at least individually what worked for me is that they were my sapna dal, both of them, by not telling me to shut up. फिर भाई बहन, both my elders, even younger one, all four of us, we really stand by each other, like really, like Didi really took care of us as a, like she became like a motherly figure very quickly in her life. And तो another set of sapna dal, then friends, then क्योंकि आप मुफट तो बन ही गए थे, तो दुनिया भर में आप मदद तो बहुत जल्दी मांग लेते हो, और there are enough people who want to help. तो I ended up, I really got very blessed with a set of this amazing people who get excited when I'm growing, and I get excited when they're growing, right. तो I don't know, तो मुझे लगता है ना shame वो तब creep in होती है, and you're right, कि जब सवालों के आंसर नहीं मिल रहे हैं और तुम्हारे पास एक आंसर है जो तुम्हारी इंस्टिंक्ट बोल रही है, बट उसको क्लियरली या तो जज करा जा रहा है या क्लियरली बोल दिया जा रहा है तो गलत है. तो पता नहीं है, आई थिंक वो बच्चा कंफ्यूजन के साथ, एंग्जाइटी के साथ, शर्म के साथ, यू नो, it becomes a big mix. But it's a big driver. It's a huge driver of a lot of things that we do and we don't do.
Right. We spoke about your childhood quite a bit. आपने सपना दल के बारे में बताया, where you said you're working on agency building.
Yeah.
and I have spoken to a few of the girls there.
You have?
I have.
Acha, you were the
Right,
you
right, I
volunteered.
have.
Yes, you volunteered.
While you talk about Sapna Dal and this agency building, I think of the many challenges that they face, one of them, the core is that they get to a point where they own the financial power that they have, because that's a huge driver. We can't deny it. But from the skill building to somebody actually going to work, research even says today that women participation in labor is 20%,
Yeah.
right? And we are missing out a huge chunk in between. Where do you think we are missing from the skill to going to a job, going to office?
I think मुझे लगता है कि so let's take an example, है ना, COVID आया and all of a sudden there was a bloom in edtech solutions, like massive bloom. There are lots of edtech solutions at all levels of education. There were hardly any effective solutions for rural India. And the issue was not that we don't have innovation capacity. It was not that we don't have funding capacity. I think it's we don't have trust on their potential. At least I'm talking about the rural youth. We don't have the trust कि ये तो मचा सकती है, ये कुछ कर सकती है. And because we don't have that trust, we don't even think of innovating in that context. तो इसका मतलब ये है कि जब IIT के अगर आप एग्जाम्पल लो, तो if a Bangalore startup comes to IIT, they are going to think about what is the best that is available that I need to offer to IIT students. The moment that person is going to go to villages, they're going to think what's the least that is available, the minimum whatever is available वो दे दो. तो ये जो डिफरेंस है ना, ये दिक्कत है. तो मतलब हम लोग का एक प्रोग्राम है कोडिंग में, एक प्रोग्राम है प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजमेंट में, है ना. देयर इज अ डिजिटल लिटरेसी के ऊपर इतना देयर इज अ पुश इन आवर कंट्री फॉर डिजिटल लिटरेसी, बिन देयर फॉर क्वाइट सम टाइम. और टू अ मैसिव एक्सटेंट डिजिटल लिटरेसी के नाम पे हम फ़ोन खोलना बंद करना, कुछ ऐप्स खोलना सिखा रहे हैं. आपने क्यों नहीं पूछा कि डिजिटल लिटरेसी में उसको मैं गूगल सर्च, एडवांस गूगल सर्च सिखाऊंगी, उसको मैं चैट जीपीटी सिखाऊंगी. व्हाई डिड यू आस्क दैट? And because you didn't ask that, and because, you know, even in that setup, that question is not being asked by them, we're losing a big chunk in all of that. और उनकी जो skills हैं, उसके लिए ecosystem नहीं है उसको flourish करने के लिए. उनकी जो वो काम कर रहे हैं हाथों से, उसकी जो skill है, right? So a lot of that, I feel, there's this massive trust deficit. We don't see and trust people's potential, especially if they're coming from underrepresented classes, especially if they're coming from rural India. मतलब न्यूज़ देख लो ना यार, आपका पूरा भारत, 70% भारत is in villages. And yet, we know way more about what is happening in Delhi का one particular area than rest of India.
Yeah.
मतलब we don't even report news. तो जब ये हालत हो रखी है तो मतलब इट्स अ लॉट हैज टू डू विद लाइक आवर ओन नैरो परसेप्शंस ना. पीपल हु आर इनोवेटिंग, पीपल हु आर फंडिंग, पीपल हु आर मेकिंग पॉलिसीज, लाइक हम कितना नैरो होंगे. एक्चुअली गवर्नमेंट इज अ बिग स्टेक होल्डर इन डेवलपिंग रूरल इंडिया मोर देन यू नो अदर्स.
तो अभी मैं आपसे कुछ सवाल पूछूंगी विच आर वेरी पर्सनल टू मी, जिसके जवाब मुझे अगर मिले भी तो मुझे नहीं पता सही है या नहीं. एंड through some of the conversations that I have with my friends, even with the girls from Sajhe, few of them had to go back home क्योंकि उनकी शादी की बात चल रही थी, या their husbands were not very happy. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the importance of a partner and what role do they play in a woman's success, in the professional success. I'll just limit it to that.
Professional success, okay.
तो मेरे कुछ सवाल हैं which will revolve around this, right?
Okay, sure.
I'll start with you,
okay,
because you are my center subject today.
Yes.
I was listening to one of your podcasts earlier जहाँ पे आपने you are literally deliberating with the idea of कि शादी अच्छी चीज़ है या नहीं, करनी चाहिए कि नहीं. 2 months back, congratulations that you got married.
Twice that.
Twice that too,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
How did that happen?
The same guy. guys, to the same guy. I got married to the same guy
Very important
twice.
that we mention that.
Yes. हमें शादी बिल्कुल करने का मन नहीं था और फिर इतना करने का मन किया कि दो लड़कों से तीन लड़कों से शादी कर रही हूँ. हाँ,
एक ही लड़के से.
एक ही लड़के से 2 बार
But
करी है.
from deliberating कि शादी करनी चाहिए या नहीं to getting married to somebody,
Yeah.
what changed?
Actually, I wasn't even deliberating करनी चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए. I was very clear कि मुझे नहीं करनी है. I think when you look at marriage as an institution, no, मतलब it's very patriarchal, very casteist, very classist. तो भी जितने भी तुम्हारे इष्ट हैं सब लगा दो उसके अंदर, है ना. And it has done a lot of damage to people's life. Like when you see up close, right? Like औरतों के जीवन में तो जो किया ही है. But again, unhappy marriages mean even the guy is also unhappy, right? Like it's not कि एक जन बहुत खुश, बहुत उसका दुख हो रखा है और दूसरा जन बहुत खुश है. So I've seen very up close. Like I've seen it in family. I've seen it in my students' lives. I've seen it among friends and whatever. Just even if you just raw data on crime and raw data on like mental well-being, like marriage has done. Like this is the way that institution is designed. So I was very in my head. I think it just took a lot of. Like it just felt very against a lot of my feminist values. Like why this? And ये था कि मुझे ऐसा लगता है, thankfully wherever I am in life right now, I do feel like I have a lot of freedoms. I have economic freedom, I have social freedom. Like कहीं से pressure नहीं है कि सुरभि को ऐसे जीना है, वो है नहीं. तो उतनी आज़ादी के बावजूद भी तुमको भी साइन अप करना पड़ रहा है. तो वो तो मुझे समझ ही नहीं आया क्यों साइन अप करना है उसको, है ना. So when my partner and I were discussing about long term, and I love love, so I do want people in my life. I want to be with someone. Like I'm not opposed to having that companionship, but like marriage is a sign up. Like why does state needs to get into your private matters, or why does, in a certain way social norms have to get into your private matters? That didn't settle well. So when my partner and he is very interested in, like मुझे लगता है ना वो पैदा ही दूल्हा बनने के लिए हुआ था कभी-कभी, because he is a romantic at heart. He is a romantic at heart. Like he has a vision of a wedding, है ना. Like he's dating a girl who had opposite of, वो 13 साल की उम्र से ये बोल रही है घर में कि मैं ये भी नहीं करूँगी, मैं ये भी नहीं करूँगी, मैं ये तो पक्का ही नहीं करूँगी, right? Like I had so many things that I used to list as a young person. What I will not entertain. Like arrange, मतलब लड़का तो देखने आ ही नहीं सकता है, और अगर आ गया तो उसके लिए अलग से फल नहीं आएंगे, हम उसको वही फल खिलाएंगे जो हम खाते हैं, है ना. नो अलग से मिठाई विल कम. So there was a whole process. Like he and I ended up talking a lot. I had to journal a lot. Thankfully my family also entertained those questions to some extent. His mother and his stepfather, both of them really entertained those questions. Like on their dinner table, we would just sit and I would just, like, we would actually have a very good intellectual conversation around it, right? Ki why marriage? And they would not discard what I had to say just because they believe in certain things, right? So what I think is, eventually it boiled down to legal. Like he's an American and I'm an Indian, and I think just the basic legality that if you're not married together, then living in each other's countries with each other for long periods would be a hard thing. And if we do decide to have a kid, then it'll be much harder for them as well. So for Austin, it was, apart from the fact that he really, really wanted to get married, I think it boiled down to legality. But I think I ended up going through a big grieving period because it just didn't sit well in a way that I had hoped in the beginning. It just felt that I had a certain sense of who I am, and someone was taking me away from it. So there has to be like that grieving that happened, which required a lot of just personal, genuine grieving. Like I remember how much I have journaled about it in my in my privacy. That, what does this mean for me? Right? Like for example, one of the arguments, like, and thanks to Austin, right? Like he engaged in that conversation. मतलब वो ऐसे दुखी होके नहीं बैठ गया कि तुम तो शादी के लिए मना कर दे रही हो, क्या है ये, ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. None of that. He actually engaged. Like जब खुद जर्नल कर रहे हो तो रात के 2 बजे मैसेज उसी को जा रहा है ना. Like मेरे दिमाग में ये ख्याल आया है ना. और उसके तो वहाँ पे 4 बजे हुए हैं, तो वो he'll replying also. And I remember one of the things that he would say that, you know, people also need newer, you know, better versions of marriages, right? And why don't you think that ours would be that? And I said, yeah, the better version could also be that there is no need of marriage. So anyway, there was like a big to and fro that happened. And ultimately I had to genuinely accept कि हाँ अभी तो ये change है. And it felt okay eventually. I mean, I really enjoyed my weddings. I really enjoyed this partnership. So, but that was the process. Like it was again, not denying your own truth. Like I did feel very uncomfortable in the beginning, and yeah, there's a lot of questions, and thankfully people listened, and I grieved. I think the grieving is the right thing. I actually remember sitting in my balcony once, and Kanbadi बहुत सुंदर है, तो like it was raining outside, and I was listening to some Hindi songs, and I was journaling, and I just cried. I cried so much because it felt, how did this happen? Like how did it, I cannot say no to something I want to say no to, because मैं भी नहीं बोल पाऊंगी तो बाकी सबका क्या होगा? मैंने बाकी सब ऐसे नहीं है, I'm sure there are people who have more freedoms than I do, but I genuinely felt free in my life, and I still do, and it felt despite all of this freedom, I still have to succumb to something that as an institution I don't fully agree with. And then of course it had to happen on my terms, so that was my, as in our term, like he's part of it. It had to happen on our terms. Like there was no question about it, but again it did happen. We do have a marriage certificate, and there's this, you know, seal by government. So you were talking about what your process was before you decided that okay, I will get married to somebody. What was happening back home? Was there a clock ticking? बोल रहे थे लोग कि अब हो गया टाइम ले लिया, just decide. क्या हो रहा था? मुझे लगता नहीं है किसी में दम है कि मुझको दबा सके. मतलब they can wish for it, but I don't think they can दबाव me for it, you know. So I think the family is pretty cool in that sense that my father would once in a while mention, शादी का भी सोच लो, काम तो तुम्हारा अच्छा चल गया है, बस गया है, शादी का भी सोच लो. And I would say, हाँ लाओ लड़का ढूंढते, बताओ. And so it wasn't pressure. It was not pressure. In fact, I remember somewhere between COVID, I had deeply accepted that कोई मिलने भी नहीं वाला है, because the level at which I was engaging or whatever, I just felt कि नहीं हो पाएगा. मतलब गांव में बैठ के तुम काम कर रहे हो, तो ऐसे लोग बाग तुम्हें मिल नहीं रहे हैं. People who, like, I would meet people on dates who were excited about the idea of living in a village versus actual reality of living in a village, right? Or working with young women, which is a high risk job, honestly, if you're working in a residential facility, and people get scared of it. Like, you have responsibility of 50 young women whose families will come after you if something happens, right? So it's a risky job, and फिर तुम मुफट भी हो. So there's I think there's an idea of dating a strong woman, and then they're actually dating a strong woman, right? Like, so a lot comes up.
Tell us about that.
Tell us about that.
Yes.
वो तो लड़कों से पूछोगे ना, मेरे से कैसे? मैं तो अपने आप को डेट नहीं कर रही हूँ. No, but I think one thing that I remember is that there was one anecdote that comes to my mind. I was dating this guy, and हम कहीं walk कर रहे थे, we were walking, and I told him very हंसते whatever, we were discussing something, and I said, oh हाँ अच्छा mansplain किया है तुमने, है ना? In this tone I said it to him, and he immediately got like got visibly kind of angry, and we're walking, so he stopped talking, and then we reach home, and then for the next 1 hour he yells at me telling me how he has not mansplained, right? And from somewhere in my body, like, it just came up, and I was like, get out of my room right now. Like, just get out, right? And I usually am not that person. I don't walk out of conflict, and I don't, पता नहीं कहाँ से आया है ना? Like, ये क्या चल रहा है? Like, you can't talk to me like this. But that's the reality, right? Like, I think what he was doing in his mind, like, there's a strong judgment that he had about that kind of guy. And that judgment came face to face with him, that someone is calling him that. And he didn't have the tools to navigate that. So वही ना, there's an idea of dating a strong person, and then there's a reality of dating a strong person, right? Just I remember Austin के साथ the first time we had decided that, you know, we should take a step back because he wanted to live in the US, I wanted to live in India. And so when it was getting more serious than either one of us would have wanted, I decided that I should step back because मुझे तो पता था भारत वापस जाना है और मुझे लग रहा था इससे प्यार में पड़ गई हूँ मैं, तो I won't be able to go back. Like this is serious. So that's how I ended up breaking up with him कि प्यार हो रहा है इसलिए पीछे जाने दो, है ना.
काफी बॉलीवुड.
Very Bollywood only. And he couldn't understand कि अरे अभी समय है, we can still date. And I said पर मेरे को पता है, my heart I know, I will just be bawling when I'll be going back. So we stopped talking, and this is one point I tried to reach out to him on Diwali, and I said, oh, I want to bring sweets for you and all of that because I'm going to all my friends' house and I want to give you sweets. And he kind of pushed back on that. He's like, no, I don't think I want to see you. And the moment he said that, it just felt like very rude. Ki, excuse me? Like, you don't care for me? Like, so I reacted. I sent a message which was not necessarily very pleasant. So that is the moment, right? Like, I was the one who was sort of pushing the boundary, right? Like, we've broken up. We've decided that we're not going to talk. I'm the one who's pushing that boundary. So he has all the right to come back and, you know, again, call me wrong or call me whatever. Like, he could have pushed back in very hurtful ways, but he didn't. And he said that the fact that we're not together, and no, I think he said something really. He said that I know when I'll see you, my heart will just break that we're not together. And I don't think I can handle a broken heart again. So I don't think I'm ready to see you. So the way he owned his feelings, तो आधा तो दिल वहीं पिघल गया. तो but the way he owned his feelings, a lot of men don't have those tools. कि बस ये बोल दो ना, वो लड़ाई भी ऐसे ही करता है. हाँ, when he fights, when he's in a conflict, in 5 years that I've known Austin, he's never yelled. Even as a friend, like I'd known him as a friend, I'd known him as a partner. I've never heard him yelling. And so even when he's in conflict, and if I say something and he he's very defenseless. Like he just owns his feelings. Then I'm really hurting right now. Like he would just say that. And sometimes he would say, that's really mean thing to say. Don't say that, babe. Don't say that. And तुमने जैसे ही ऐसा बोल देते हो ना, तो अचानक से, without putting you down, without telling you how horrible you are, and he just owns it. तो मतलब even like strong women, अब मुझे ऐसे भी लगता है ना, जैसे the kind of attention that I get, and it's increasing over the years. It's not always been that way, but the kind of attention I get, both by in some sense like public in large, but also men, and he knows all of that. Right? Again, it has never become a point of contention. Like never. Like never. Like that kind of sense of security in your skin. That's amazing. Like that's beautiful. And I don't think बहुत सारे मर्दों को उसकी practice है. मुझे लगता है सबको वो बनना है, सबका मन है, but वो practice ही नहीं है. है ना? तो and again, I don't know what was the question. We keep doing that. I keep derailing.
No, but I think I had a lot of related questions.
Yeah.
कि कैसे पता चला, क्या हुआ? But I think you have answered all of them at once. That sounds lovely. हाँ?
क्योंकि मैंने ऑस्टिन को भी बहुत जज किया. I evaluated big way. क्योंकि शादी was a big deal, तो I evaluated him. Like there was a period where, oh my god, that was a bad period, I guess. But I was like constantly evaluating कि अच्छा ये लड़का आखिर, after dating him, full on, फिर उसको evaluate कर रही हूँ मैं कि what does this mean to actually live with this person, right? Because ultimately दुनिया तो नहीं है ना, तुमको कमरे में उसके साथ रहना है. Like what does this mean to actually spend a mundane moments with him? So I evaluated big way. Not a big fan of what I did, but and I think it put him in the evaluation mode as well. Like you create the culture of the relationship. It's one person is doing something, you're allowing that to happen in the relationship, right? But yeah, there were like a lot of things, but there were like significant moments when I remember this is good. Like this feels good. Like this feels really good. And now they definitely feels good now that we've gotten married, but even before that. So I'm happy to tell you anecdotes, but I don't know if that derails.
No,
more.
I just want to know, do you recommend that evaluation to people who are dating?
Not the obsessive kind that I did, in some sense.
Did you have an Excel where you're marking,
No,
10 on this,
actually, the
2 on
first
this?
time someone had asked me to get married,
Uh-huh.
this was like some time ago, like way back.
Hmm.
I had dated that guy for 4 years, and we were, and this is before I was about to leave for masters to the US, and we were in a car. I have been proposed 3 times for marriage, all of them in moving cars. For
Talk about
some reason, men think that they can't propose to me outside a moving car. All 3 of them have been in the moving car.
Do you run away?
I don't. I am hardly from running away. I face conflict in the face. I don't run away. But all 3 of them have been in the moving car. Anyway, so the first moving car, the first time he asked me, and we had dated 4 years by then. So this guy is like, oh, I think we should, talk to our parents about it. And I tell them about that we want to get married. And I said, who does? And he said, you and I. And I said, to me? And he said, yes. And he said, you don't want to get married to me? I said, I need to think about that. And he had all this sensible right कि हम 4 साल से डेट कर रहे हैं. It was a very peaceful, loving relationship. मतलब अच्छी थी. तो ऐसे कोई it was a fair assumption कि the next step is getting married. And I said, but how did you think about that? This is it. Like, me is it. And he said, I don't know. It just feels right. And isn't that what we're supposed to do now? And I said, but I haven't thought about it. And he said, okay. So it was, again, poor guy, like in that moment of vulnerability, he just got pushed back. And I remember going to Nehru Park with my diary, fixated on one bench. And I, for a minute, forgot about this relationship. And I wrote down what I want in a companionship. बहुत लिखा दिन भर बैठे बैठे एक जगह. एंड फाइनली आई बॉइल डाउन कि मेरे को ये 6 चीज़ें तो चाहिए. फिर ये रिलेशनशिप लाई गई. फिर ये बोला गया कि इन 6 चीज़ों में से अभी क्या मिसिंग है इस रिलेशनशिप में. देयर आर 2 थिंग्स दैट वर मिसिंग. आई वेंट बैक टू हिम एंड आई शेयर्ड माय big study, self-study and big analysis that listen, this 6 things are critical to me, and of these 6, 2 are missing, and I think we should work on them before deciding to get married. तो पता नहीं है, I do feel very proud of that 26-year-old सुरभि कि बहुत अच्छा काम किया. तो वो वाला evaluation कर लो, शायद खुद को समझने वाला evaluation कि what is it that you're ready to compromise, what is it that you're ready to not compromise. So that is fine, but then don't do the rest that I did.
Lovely advice. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'll talk about your wedding a little bit.
Weddings. 2 थी.
हाँ.
पूछो मेरे से और ऑस्टिन से. 2 का लॉजिस्टिक्स संभाला है हमने.
हाँ, तो ये सवाल भी पर्सनल इसलिए है कि अभी के टाइम में weddings are expensive.
Oh, just don't ask about it. Yeah.
B, you said कि you had governments getting involved in weddings because you are from India, he's from America. But you chose to make your wedding a part of both of your communities in a very big, bold way. Where you could have just said कि मुझे इस बंदे शादी करनी है, मेरे मम्मी पापा are on board, like our parents are on board.
Yeah.
Let's just make it a small gathering. You did not do that.
I mean, kind of was small. If the benchmark is Indian weddings, like both our weddings are 80 to 100 guests. So it was in some sense small.
Small
I
in
think,
that sense.
Small in the sense of social setting, but I think it was big than my setting. Like I wanted to, अगर करना ही है तो कोर्ट में जाके कर लो ना. तो I did propose that. तो कितने स्टेक होल्डर है ना इस डिसीजन मेकिंग में. ऑस्टिन के फैमिली, मैं, मेरी फैमिली. मेरे अलावा किसी को कोर्ट वेडिंग नहीं करनी थी. किसी को भी नहीं. मतलब नॉट इवन 1 पर्सन. दूल्हा ही नहीं तैयार है कोर्ट वेडिंग के लिए. मतलब मैं अकेले जाके थोड़ी करूंगी. ही इज लाइक नो, आई हैव अ विजन ऑफ अ वेडिंग. राइट, ही डिड हैव अ विजन फॉर हिज वेडिंग. लाइक फॉर हिम, आई एम टेलिंग यू, ही इज अ रोमांटिक एट हार्ट एंड ही इज जेन्युइनली वेरी रोमांटिक. लाइक मजा आ जाता है उसके रोमांस में ना. मतलब मुझे लगता था मैं बहुत रोमांटिक हूँ, बट इज अ क्लास अपार्ट. लाइक ही इज रियली गुड.
Yeah, I remember your lehenga scouting where your groom had a vision of how you should look.
Or the colors. Not how should I look, but the colors that he really loves on me. And he, when I purchased a lehenga, मैं पुरानी दिल्ली गई और मैं 3 घंटे में 2 लहंगे खरीद के आ गई. And that was it for me. Like done. Okay. Got wedding shopping and like is done. And then he woke up and I showed him like ये खरीदा मैंने. He's like, कुछ नहीं बोला उस समय तो. 2 दिन बाद बोलता है. He's like, you're such a fun, vibrant person. why didn't you choose fun, vibrant colors? And I said, this looks fine. I mean, anyway, we ended up having a whole debate about it. But yeah, he did have, like, he was really invested, like very invested. He created a beautiful arch. So we got married in the US in October. In February, he designed an arch, then he made an arch with wood, and then he planted stuff on it so that by October there is a creeper on it, and under which we'll get married. और रोज जाके उसमें पानी डालना है, उसकी प्रूनिंग करना है. तो फरवरी से लेके अक्टूबर तक someone did that.
Oh my God.
That's how invested and he was, right? And he was really invested. He's really cute. What was your question?
My question was,
Then why didn't you
involve
just
your
do?
communities?
Yeah, I think the discussion we ended up happening was that what are the values that we want to uphold, right? Like there is a reason I'm saying no to weddings, right? Like my is क्यों खर्चा करना है? Why do you want to make it a big show out of it? Why do we need, like, पर्चा ही चाहिए तो ठीक है ले आते हैं, like, है ना? And then there was again a discussion. We talk a lot, like he and I, we talk a lot, like a lot. And so the question was that what value is being challenged when we don't do a court wedding, or what is it that you're wanting through court wedding? What values do you want to uphold? So we had a very beautiful discussion on that, because it boiled down to what is important. So that I made an Excel sheet. So it is on an Excel sheet, right? So there is a column which is like Austin's, what his values for what does weddings mean, my values, and then there were our values. है ना? और वो बहुत प्यारा डिस्कशन है, बिकॉज उसमें तुम खुद को तो जान ही रहे हो, तुम सामने वाले को भी और गहराई से जान रहे हो, राइट? So for us, 5 values came out. I think there was fun, there's community, there's feminism, there was harmony, like with nature and with people, and there was one more, clearly not important enough for me to remember now. So I don't remember it anymore.
It has happened, so
it has happened.
You can forget now.
Yeah. So, but community was one of them, right?
Yeah.
And so for us, it just became a discussion that, okay, is it a really a huge compromise for you if actually a wedding happens? And the moment I wrote those values down, it didn't feel like bad. It's like, okay, शादी तो अपने तरीके से होगी ना. Like I'm not going to do set of rituals that go against these values. तो ठीक है. And then we really kept it small. I think both the weddings had like 80 to 100 guests in India and in the US, and that was really nice.
तो सुबह कौन से रिचुअल्स थे आपकी शादी में जो आपने किए थे, जो कि कस्टम मेड थे?
So both the weddings, I think the main focus was on like the promises we were making to each other. But I think India wedding had a lot more flavor and like layers to it. So we did a lot of fun things, like बारात किया, जयमाल होती है, उठा के वो किया, डांस तो बहुत ही किया है ना, माता पूजन होता है वो किया. Like I think I'm not very religious, my family is, but I think the main wedding, we were both very clear that we cannot go through something that we don't believe in. Like वो physically मेरे लिए possible नहीं है to actually go through something that I don't fully believe in, as I was talking earlier. So we settled on 5 ceremonies as the main wedding in India. The first was just the context setting of why we're doing this and why we need the whole community support as we do something new, and that was really nicely done by my father. अच्छा, एक तो यही था कि पंडित we removed, because it didn't make sense to me that why do we need a pandit.
Your dad was the pandit.
My dad was the pandit, and like I earlier it was supposed to be my dad and my elder sister, because she's the one they are the ones who have raised us. तो दीदी सेड कि पहला दिन का मोर्चा मैं संभाल लूंगी, जो भी करना है, बट ये मत करवाओ मेरे से, बिकॉज आई विल बी डिस्ट्रैक्टेड इन दैट मोमेंट. आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू बी एबल टू सिट इन वन प्लेस एंड डू द होल थिंग. सो देन आई लाइक, भाभी आप करो, बिकॉज अगेन पीपल दैट आई लुक अप टू, राइट, लाइक आप करो. एंड शी वाज सपोज्ड टू डू इट विद फादर, बट her kid got sick a day before, so she had to back out. But anyway, so we did, first was tying the knot and गठबंधन basically, और उसमें 5 चीज़ें रखते हैं as you're tying the knot. और दोनों साइड की बहनें are tying that knot. So there is chawal, there is flour, there is haldi, there is paisa, and then there is thoop. And each one of them had really beautiful significance. Like chawal was like, you're not only getting married to each other, you also have to marry for social work. So if either one of us want to do social work, at least don't stop them. Your commitment is to the world now. Like do good in the world as you're coming together.
Was this custom made?
This was from Gayatri Parivar. So Gayatri Parivar has some rituals, so we took it from there. So money was like, both of you have equal ownership on everything, all the property and tangibles. Dhoop was very cute. Dhoop is a kind of grass, and it said धूप अगर मुरझा भी जाए तो उसमें पानी डालो तो वो फिर से खिल जाती है. तो आपका प्यार ऐसा होना चाहिए कि अगर ये मुरझा भी जाए तो आप ऐसा कुछ करें साथ में कि फिर से वो खिल जाए. And my father said all of this. It was really cute. Health was, I mean, haldi was health, that you not only have to take care about your physical health, your partner's physical health, but also their mental well-being. And that's the point he talked about. कि हमारे यहाँ तो बीवी को मार दिया और उसको बोल रहे हैं ये प्यार है ना. ये प्यार थोड़ी होता है, तुमको सीखना पड़ेगा उसको क्या अच्छा लगता है क्या नहीं लगता है. So that was the Gadbandhan. And the sisters were told in the end that as siblings, it's your job to remind these two when they hit a rocky place that these are the expectations from you. So that was the first one. Then we did Gadbandhan hua. Then we did promises to each other. So this is expectations from the world. What is your expectations with each other? So we promised, made some vows. Then we did the Feras, Agni Fera. And then we did the community circle, in which, again, two of my really good friends, fantastic educators and feminist women, they both designed this. तो उन्होंने ऊन लिया और ये एक्टिविटी NGOs में बहुत होती है वैसे, तो हमने शादी में कर ली. तो उसमें it began from us, like both me and Austin, by his mother and my father. So they were so the two questions were given to the whole group. One, what did you assume about relationships and what have you learned over time? What is it, the advice you would want to give to this new couple? And two, how are you committing to support this relationship? Because अकेले तो नहीं हो पाएगा, है ना? And I think this ritual also came because there was a lot of deliberation I was doing around विदाई, है ना? हमारे यहाँ विदाई होती है, रोने का माहौल होता है. And there were moments when I actually, even before the wedding, that I actually felt I'm stepping away from something. Like I actually felt like Vidai. And I did hear Vidai songs and I cried. है ना, ये किया हुआ है मैंने अपने bedroom में बैठे बैठे कि वो बाबुल की दुआएं लेती जाए, and I crying also. And the sentiment is that both of us, both me and Austin, are stepping away from each other's family and becoming each other's primary family. तो जिन्होंने ना पाला पोसा है ना, उनका तो दिल टूटेगा. उनको अच्छा भी लग रहा है, like this is the next stage of independence, but उनसे तो पल्लू छूट रहा है. Now we are becoming each other's primary family. तो उस big emotion जो वो grief है उसकी भी जगह होनी चाहिए. So we did that. We basically both, this question was presented to the whole audience, and whoever was speaking was supposed to tie the thread tie the oon on their finger. So eventually it became a big web in which we were all connected. So everyone said really, really beautiful things. दोनों जन, मैंने और ऑस्टिन ने सिसक के रोया है उसमें. And we laughed and we felt really loved and supported. So yeah, these were the few ceremonies we did.
Oh,
yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Quite custom made.
Very custom made. मजा आया.
Surbhi, will you say the partnership that you and Austin have is 50-50? Or do you think that partnership should be always 50-50?
I used to think it has to be 50-50. मतलब exactly मैं जो कर रही हूँ तुमको भी उतना ही करना पड़ेगा. I definitely don't think that way now. It's been quite some time since I don't think that way. It does feel like a team. Like we are playing with our strengths. And there has to be an active conversation whenever it feels कि यार मुझे यहाँ पे ज़्यादा ज़रूरत है और तुम आ नहीं रहे हो. You're not being a team player. Right now I need you, right? And I think it goes back to how it feels in your body. Like genuinely, I cannot tell you enough. Like how does it feel in your body when you're with this person or when you're in conflict with this person? Like when it's difficult. I think with Austin, or at least in this relationship, there is like a huge sense of safety. Like huge, like not even one conflict yet. I mean, we're very newly married, you know, like maybe people who have been married for 20 years would say different things, like acha beta dekhna abhi, you know.
Scoff at this.
Yeah, I know. हाँ, abhi theek hai, koi baat nahi, you know. But like 5 years I've known him, and in any conflict, it doesn't feel disrespected in any capacity. I don't feel threatened that, oh my God, तो क्या हो जाएगा, I can't. सो बट बेंचमार्क इतना लो भी नहीं होना चाहिए. आई थिंक हाई ये है कि जब हम अकेले होते हैं तो हम बहुत हंसते हैं. मतलब एक्चुअली वी कैन मेक ईच अदर लाफ अ लॉट एंड देयर इज अ फुल एक्सेस टू ईच अदर्स बीइंग. आई वुड से इन अ सेंस दैट अगर कुछ लग रहा है ऑन एंड ऑफ तो यू कहीं पे ये नहीं डर लग रहा है ये बोल दूंगी तो पता नहीं क्या हो जाएगा. तो वो दबाव नहीं है कहीं पे. मतलब वो बहुत मतलब हाँ ये तो हो गई ना. मतलब इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ फैक्ट दैट आई डोंट नो. आई थिंक वो 50-50% वाला लॉजिक नहीं है. बस इतना बताना चाह रही हूँ दैट आई थिंक इट्स 80-20 whenever I need him to be 80 and I need to be 20 and it's vice versa. Like you're going to show up as a team, right?
Thank you so much, Surbhi, for coming here, talking to us today, making us a part of your life.
I enjoyed this
समय
conversation.
निकाल के
Yeah.
काफी दूर से we could meet, we could
Yeah,
speak to each
actually.
other in person.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Can't thank you enough for having taken the time out and
I
answer
enjoyed it too.
जो भी आड़े टेढ़े सवाल मैंने पूछे आपसे. Thank you for patiently answering them and answering them so beautifully. It was lovely to have you.
No, of course. I really enjoyed this. Like actually I really enjoyed this.